Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on Klay Thompson's brand new signature shoe with Anta, and this is the KT9, and of course I have the KT8 right over here, which was last year's model. So the KT9 is available on Flamuji for 130 bucks, so if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. But let's get started right off with the Tracciones, and in this colorway we have a fully translucent outsole. It's kind of has like an iridescent glow, which I think looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty much fully translucent here in the forefoot, and then here in the heel we have a solid rubber outsole, and it kind of has like squiggly lines, right, curved lines that kind of like flow through each other, and it kind of looks like a knot. There is a little hole here in the forefoot to expose the nitrogen foam, and also here in the heel to expose the Smart Sam foam as well, which we'll get into. But also it is a decoupled outsole. It is not connected as far as the forefoot and heel goes. But how does the traction feel on my wood floors? It feels absolutely amazing. I don't know what they did with the rubber compound. It says it's a new type of rubber compound that they're using, but it sticks really well on my wood floors. It has a very nice bite, and also a super loud and high-pitched squeak, which I do like as well. So yeah, the traction is feeling really good. However, it does feel like it won't be the best for outdoor use. You know, they are saying it is abrasion resistant. However, the rubber is actually kind of thin, or the grooves are kind of thin, and also the grooves don't feel that deep, which is weird, especially for a Chinese company. So yeah, durability definitely doesn't seem like it'll be the best. However, just trying it on my wood floors, the traction seems really good so far, and I'm very excited to try these out, right? Now moving on to the heel to toe transition, also it does feel pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel we have a pretty nice curve shape and very exposed midsole. If you guys can see how low to the ground it is, so look at that, right? Which we'll get into for cushion. And then here in the forefoot we have a very nice curve shape and a lot of forefoot flex. It's super duper flexible. Of course we can see a carbon fiber midfoot chain plate, which is a very nice premium touch, especially for 130 bucks. That's a very nice premium touch for 130 bucks. Good torsion support and all that. So yeah, overall heel to toe transition feels very smooth. The shape is very nice and super flexible. So there's that. Moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup is absolutely freaking insanely good for court feel. Like, this is one of the best shoes I felt so far, or like of recent memory, with this much court feel, right? What has as good court feel as this? I guess the JT1. The Shockwave 5 is still pretty good for like court feel, but I feel like the KT9 feels a little bit lower to the ground. Like, as you guys see, look at how freaking thin the foam is, guys. The foam is so thin, but also it feels like it'll be pretty good for impact protection. Like, not the best obviously, but it feels like it'll be adequate. You know, they're using a variety of foams, right? So they're using nitrogen foam, right, which they've been using in all of their signature shoes. It's super duper nice. It looks like a Boost, right, but it's their own kind of formula. It's super soft. It has a nice little bit of bounce as well. It's full length, right? If you look at the actual tech specs, it is full length, and the nitrogen foam seems to be like kind of like top loaded, right? It's just a thin layer here in the heel, and it kind of goes here into the forefoot. And then we have a flash edge. That's what this kind of like dark blue, dark navy type of color foam is. So that's a flash edge. And also we have Smart Sam here, right? So it's kind of like in the middle of the heel for better impact protection, because that's what Smart Sam does, right? It absorbs more impact than the other foams. So they're using a blend of 3 foams in this entire midsole, which is pretty cool. And also the A-Flash edge, as you guys can see, it goes all the way here into the lateral side as well to act as a side cage or lateral cage for lateral support. So the cushion is really good. It feels really nice, especially for guards. If you want court feel, this is one of the best shoes right now. It feels so good for court feel. And then step and comfort is really nice as well. The insole is alright. You know, it's a pretty nice insole. It's just a regular insole, typical of like Anta. But underneath that, you can see the Smart Sam, right? It's a very large green foam. It's a circle. And there is so much compression. It's super duper soft where the Smart Sam is, and then where the white foam is, you know, basically the nitrogen foam, it's also super soft. It's not a soft mesh strobo board, but the strobo board is actually really soft. It doesn't feel like it's super glued down. It doesn't feel really stiff at all. So the step and comfort for this shoe is really good too. And like I said, you know, you do have a little bit of compression here in the heel from the A-Flash edge. It's not super caged, I guess, besides this kind of external heel counter a little bit. But yeah, the cushion I like so far. I feel like it's a very nice departure from his older models, especially like the KT7, KT6, where it was super high up off the ground, especially here in the heel. A little too much compression, a little mushy at times. This is a great great cushioning setup in my personal opinion, it feels like so far. So there's that. Moving on to the materials. So we have kind of like a textile material, and there seems to be kind of like a rubberized material over it, like a rubberized plastic kind of, to reinforce the material. And also we have the Anta logo here on the medial side, right? We do have the synthetic material going down the middle of the toe box. Well, it splits into this V shape, covering kind of like the eyelets, right? But yeah, it does feel overall very, very thin. It feels thin, but it conforms to your foot very well. It's comfortable, and it also does feel pretty supportive, right? And also we can see there, like if you look underneath the material, you can see there are straps underneath this material here on the lateral and medial side that also do connect with this cabling system that they have. So that'll be very good for additional support and also durability. But you can see that with these straps, this type of like cable goes through it, right? And also goes outside. It looks like flywire as well. I don't really know how effective this type of cabling system is, right? Because first of all, the laces go through the actual upper as well. It's not like the laces go through only the cabling system. And also it doesn't really like tighten when you pull this. I guess it does a little bit, but I feel like the actual effectiveness is pretty minimal, I would say, you know? But I do like the overall straps underneath this midfoot for better support. And then for the tongue, we have like an average amount of padding. It does feel pretty nice. It's also a half booty construction tongue. And then here in the ankle area, we have pretty minimal padding actually, right? We have this pull tab, which kind of connects into this kind of a heel tab a little bit, right? So it makes the shoe overall easier to put on and stuff like that. But the overall padding is pretty minimal on the sides of the shoe. There is a little bit of padding where your Achilles is, but it's pretty minimal there as well. So the overall upper feels very minimal as well. So it feels nice on foot, and the overall material quality also feels pretty nice. You know what I mean? I guess it does look kind of cheap though when you do look at it from a distance, but like in hand and also on foot, it feels very nice, right? Now moving on to the fit. So I went true to size, and this shoe fits freaking snug. I feel like it's a little too snug right now. I wish I went up half a size, honestly, right? So if you want a super duper snug fit, then go true to size. However, if you want a snug fit still, it'll probably be snug if you go up half a size, right? So if you want a little bit looser, then go up half a size, right? So my toes go very, very close to the edge of the shoe, going true to size. And also here in the toe box is super snug, and width-wise is very, very narrow. So yeah, it's hopefully this material stretches out a little bit. You know, I feel like it will a little bit once I break it in, because right now it's a super duper snug fit, which I don't like, you know? So yeah, I would suggest most people probably go up half a size. If you want a roomier fit, however, I'll probably go up a full size. But yeah, you can just see how narrow this fit is, right? So there's a fit there. Moving on to the support and lockdown, I feel like this will be pretty dang good for lateral containment, right? So if you look here in the forefoot, we do have the foam coming up a little bit, acting as a sidewall, and this overall material does feel very supportive. And also, like I said, with that cabling system, and also here in the heel, we have the external heel counter and also an internal TPU heel counter, it feels like. So lateral containment feels like it's gonna be good. And also lateral stability, look at that. You can see how wide this base is. You can see how much the midsole and also protrude out. So we have a very wide base, and the cushion is super low to the ground. So it'll probably be very good for lateral stability. And also we do have pretty much like a mid-top design, I guess, right? Mid-top, high-top. So hopefully that'll be good for ankle support as well. And as far as the overall upper goes, we can see here, it says 11. Right, with this tag, there's one on both sides, which is pretty cool for his number. And then also it says KT for these tags as well. Obviously for Klay Thompson, I really like this gradient on the midsole as well. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe, it actually feels quite light. Oh, 12.55 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 12.65 ounces. So that's pretty much average weight. Let's compare it to the KT8, which is last year's. 13.45 ounces, right? So Klay Thompson's shoes have actually been pretty heavy. So this is probably one of his lightest shoes that he has in his entire shoe line, right? I mean, like the 8, it's not super heavy, but it is on the heavier side of things. The 7 was pretty heavy, the 6, the 5, you know? So for the 9, I definitely feel like they really wanted to redesign his shoe. Or maybe Klay Thompson was like, I want something different, you know? But it feels very different from all of his previous shoes, you know? It feels a lot more minimal, it feels lighter, it feels way lower to the ground, but also still has very nice cushion, it feels like right now. So yeah, I mean, it feels very nice on foot. And also as far as the aesthetics go, this is probably my least favorite though, especially with this design of the midsole. It reminds me a lot of like Adidas's designs, which I don't like. But it feels really nice as far as like on foot and just like for performance. Like it feels like it'll perform very well. It's just aesthetically not my favorite, right? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, the KT9, especially for 130 bucks, but Muji is killing it with the pricing. I feel like this shoe will be absolutely amazing. I'm really liking how it feels so far. Feels like a great guard shoe as well. And we're getting really good tech, like full length nitrogen foam. We have A-Flash edge foam. We also have carbon fiber. We have this cabling system, you know what I mean? I guess the synthetic material here in the ankle, it is a little cheap feeling, you know? But other than that, for the price, the tech is actually really, really good, right? So anyways, my first impressions of the KT9 is super duper good. I'm very, very excited to play in these. But that about concludes my first impressions. Look, on the KT9, again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.